Mom, how does the baby get in your belly? Mom, I heard about the S word on the school bus. What is that? Today we're going to talk about sex. I know, and this is a topic that's taboo. Nobody wants to talk about it. And a lot of people don't talk to their kids about sex. It's a huge mistake. Kids are being exposed to learning about sex at earlier and earlier ages. And you need to be the first one to tell them, the first one to reach them with your message before everyone else does. They're gonna hear about it on the school bus, from their friends, on the internet. And it's really important that you are educating your kids and that you are subject matter expert. And you know, it's hard, it's daunting, and there's a lot of shame sometimes around this topic, and we don't want to talk to our kids about sex, but we need to be talking to them, because if we don't, the world will be reaching them before we do with their message, injecting their values and their ideals. And trust me when I tell you, it's better that you do it first. A lot of parents actually kind of do it backward, where they have like a child that's maybe in middle school or high school, and they'll say something like, well, make sure that, you know, you have protection on you always. You know, there's a lot of like diseases going around. And that's like the worst thing that you could tell a child that's in high school, that's in middle school, high school, because if you think about it, what you're essentially telling them is, I expect you to be having sex before marriage, but just use a condom, just use protection. And that is like the worst thing that you could possibly tell them, because you're telling them basically, you're gonna be doing it and just be prepared, and that's it. Instead of informing them about what sex is and having boundaries around it, and telling them what you expect from them, and that sex is a sacred gift that God gave couples intended for marriage. That is the message that we should be giving our kids. And talking about purity, talking about the expectation of saving that for marriage. But, you know, talking to our kids about sex should be something that starts early on. And I'm not talking about like you're just dumping all the information to kids really early. But they should know really basic things, like the names of their privates. I mean, there's kids that think that like their butt is the name for their private part, or like they're like those silly names, and they don't have like a real true understanding of things. And that in and itself can put your child at risk for sexual abuse, because they're ignorant. They don't even know the names for their private areas, which is something that you should be teaching them, the medical names. There's kids that are reaching like adolescence, and they don't know the changes that are happening in their bodies. They don't know about puberty, and they're just facing all of these different changes happening, but their parents never sat down to talk to them about these changes that were going to be happening. This is our job. We don't leave that to the school systems to teach our kids about. We should be teaching our kids about their bodies, about how to keep their bodies safe. No one should be touching their privates, about the puberty changes that are coming, about sex, about what sex is. And when we talk about having that talk with kids, what sex is, it is different for a younger child than what it is for an older child. For a younger child, something as simple as a male and a female come together in a special way, and then a new life is formed. For an older child, you give a little bit more details in a matter-of-fact way. And it really doesn't have to be hard, but we make it so difficult and so hard, and we bring so much shame to the topic. But it's really important that we are educating our children. Another thing that I want to talk to you guys about is pornography. And a lot of people think like, oh no, I'm not going to tell my kids about pornography. That's like a rated R topic in our home. But no, you do need to be talking to your kids about pornography, because the average child is watching pornography by like 10 or 11 years old, is what the stats are saying right now. So it's really important that you tell them what is pornography, and if you encounter pornography, what are the steps that you're going to do. A lot of kids are coming upon pornography by accident. simple, just scrolling on the internet, pop-up ads, their friends, just different ways. So we need to prepare our children so that they can be empowered. I say, if you haven't talked to your kids about these topics, don't keep it waiting. You're going to be able to protect your child by talking to them. You're going to open up that line of communication so that they can come to you if there's ever a problem or if anything ever happens to them. They can come to you in confidence. Another thing that, it's happening is that there's a lot of sexual abuse happening. And it's like, 1 in 5 is being sexually abused by a family member. And that is why we need to teach our kids about these things. I am a mom of 5, and when I was learning about how to teach these topics to my kids, I did so much research, and I was like, burning my brain because I really wanted to find a resource that had all the things that I wanted to talk to my kids about in like one spot, but not with too much information, not with like all the dark topics, something that was child friendly and that they can connect to. So what I did was I created this reproduction and puberty binder, and everything is here, that I want to teach my kids. So everything about God's plan for sex, God's plan for creation. I talk about animal reproduction as a way to steer in to the adult conversations. There's quizzes in here. We talk about reproductive organs because kids need to learn about these things, and there's quizzes, there's labeling sheets. It's just great for the kids. It talks about all the puberty changes that they're going to be going through. It talks about how to have the talk, like that. How do babies come into the world talk? And it has a basic explanation and then a more advanced explanation. It talks about pornography. So everything is here in this binder, and that is why I created it. And I'm a curriculum writer, but I create these things because I can't find what I'm looking for. I would much rather just like go buy something, but I just couldn't find what I was looking for all in one binder. And it made it super easy for me to sit down with my kids and just go over all of those basics and make sure that they're covered. With this binder, I created a workshop because a lot of you guys kept writing to me and asking me, JD, how do I talk to my kids about sex? Like, how do I have the talk? How do I tell them about puberty? How do I talk to them about all these topics? And what I did was I filmed a really short workshop for you guys. So you can watch it in like 30 minutes for 45 minutes, and you'll know everything on how to have the talk with younger kids, what to teach your kids that are 7 and below, because they also need to learn things as well. So I go over everything in the workshop. With the workshop comes also the binder that you're going to have as well. I just wanted to be able to empower people and help them along their journey. As a mom of 5, I know the importance of being the first one to reach your children. You're preparing them for what's coming. You're also giving them your worldview and your values. And you're telling them, you know what? Sex is intended for marriage, and it's for married couples. It's a gift that God gave to couples that are married. And this is not something that is done outside of marriage. You are filling them up with your values, with your expectations. And that is huge. You want to be the first to tell them. You want to tell them your expectations, your boundaries, before the world tells them. And again, it's happening earlier and earlier, so do it sooner than later. I'm going to link this workshop and binder. It comes with a binder, it comes with checklists on what you should be talking to your kids. I'm gonna link it below, and I'm gonna give you guys all a 20% off for this coming week only to help you guys out. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you don't wait any longer if you haven't talked to your kids. And I also wanted to mention, if your kids are older and you haven't talked to them about sex, you need to be doing it. And even if you just go up to them and you say, you know what, I'm sorry that I haven't talked to you about these topics, but I want to talk to you about them now. I want to open up this line of communication with you. Tell me what you know about it. And then talk to them about it. Talk to them about your expectations for purity, and talk to them about all the things that they probably already know about, but that you haven't talked to them about. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next video. Look below for the coupon code. Bye-bye.